welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be making a sweet potato wine. I am using a recipe that I got off a friend of mine. It's something his grandmother and mother had made while he was growing up. The only major differences to the recipe that I am changing, just out of efficiency and pure laziness, is I'm using 5 pounds of canned sweet potatoes, and I'm using a Red Star Premier Rouge yeast instead of a bread yeast. So basically our ingredients are going to be 5 pounds of yams, sweet potatoes, in syrup. This is an all-natural sugar-based syrup, so we're good there. We have 1 pound of raisins. We put in 4 pounds of honey. 1 pound of brown sugar that I had left over from the making of my coffee liqueur. One gallon water. So that's going to pretty much be the ingredients. We're cooking outside today, which is kind of stupid because it's 97 degrees out and I'm playing with fire. So I get started getting everything put into the pot, and we'll see you once I get everything in the pot. We now have everything in the pot. I'm going to stir this. I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to be adding sugar and the honey after the boil, or actually we're going to add the sugar near the end of the boil. Then we're going to add the honey after the boil. We're going to heat the honey up, thin it out, put it into the must. Then we'll aerate everything, then we'll add our yeast. We're going to cook it till the mashed potatoes, or the sweet potatoes, excuse me, become mashed sweet potatoes. Till they're all gushy and broken up. The more I get them broke down, the more it's going to have the yeast is going to have to work on. That's plus the sugars and the honey and all that. Something I was remiss in pointing out when I was doing my ingredients was I'm also putting the juice of a lemon, or actually 2 lemons, in the mix, because sweet potatoes have very little to no acidic value. You need to add the acid to bring up your acidic level, which will help cut down on mold and stuff of that nature. So we are cooking now. I will probably be back on near the end of the Okay, we're at a simmer now. It's starting to get all bubbly, and I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Starting to get a little bit of boil over. I'm not worried about it because any liquid I lose during the boil will be replenished by the honey. 4 pounds of honey is going to give me almost an extra gallon of water, so we should be good. Okay, wasn't sure if the camera started or not. We are now at the cool down phase. I don't know if you can see it behind me or not. I had to switch out to a bigger pot because I was having trouble controlling the heat to keep it from boiling over out of my littler pot. So at this point we've added the brown sugar, we've added the lemon juice, we've added our sweet potatoes and our raisins. So we're letting it cool down now. Then we'll move it to the fermenter. Then we'll go inside. we'll heat our honey up, add our honey, and finish the process. So until then.
Okay, what you have going on here is I have dissolved some yeast nutrient in the water, and I've got it on the stir plate getting mixed in the water real good. And probably about 5 to 10 minutes before I get ready to pitch the yeast, I'll put the yeast in here and let it get all acquainted and buddy-buddy with the yeast nutrient and start waking up. So it will kick in faster when we start to go fermenting. And right here to the side, some fresh zesty salsa that the wife made in can because she loves me. But that's about it. That's just something I do. You don't have to do it that way. It's just something I like to do because it saves time and makes life easier for me. Okay, we're at the part where we're going to be heating up our honey, putting into the mix, and we're going to do our yeast. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our yeast, we're going to add it to our water and peptic enzyme solution. I'm going to spray scissors with star sand on the top of our yeast package. Get it cut open. Add it here. Turn this on. The stir plate isn't spinning. It's spinning earlier. Well, hello. Maybe it'll kick in here in a minute, I don't know. There it goes. The yeast mixed into our vat. Adjust the camera a little bit. Do and take the honey here. I set it. Take the lids off of it. Here. Put it in here. We're going to add some water, and we'll start heating it up. You don't want the water so high as to go over the tops of the bottles of the honey. So we'll fill it, probably one more glass full.
This is going to take a couple minutes to heat up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off, or pause the camera until we get to such point that we can do it. Put it in with our, what's it called? The musk. That's what is the word I was looking for. Okay, we are now ready to turn the heat off on the honey. Set it off the flame. Back here, grab some oven mitts because these bad boys are coming out of there hot. First 2 pounds of honey. See the water level, the liquid level has greatly increased on the fermenter. So yeah, we've got almost 2 gallons of liquid. You can see some of the raisins and the what's left of the sweet potatoes. Like that. What honey goodness. My sanitized, cleaned stir spoon. Do everything good stir. Everything's stirred up real good. Honey in there, plus sugar, plus raisins. Everything mixed. Now, in a technical sense, if you really want to get technical about it, this is actually a mead because I'm using a honey base for my base sugar. But meads are a subcategory of wine. So. Sorry, I don't have a wide enough angle and my kitchen's fairly wide, so some of this is off camera. Take this and spray it down with some Star Sand real quick because we will be needing. Okay, now give me my aerator. My aerator. Take this and get my little Star Sand sprayer. You don't have to use Star Sand to sanitize. You can use light bleach, but you have to rinse with light bleach. And like I said, in most of my videos, I am fairly lazy. So, got this. I'm going to set the timer for 30 seconds. And by the time I get back, we should be about ready to do a 25-second oxygen blast. Start. Okay. This in. There we go. Because yeast loves oxygen. You don't want you to take and put your rod all the way down to the bottom. You
Simply, there we go. 25 seconds, a little bit more. So, got it aerated. And now we pitch our yeast. Hit it with a little bit of water. I want as many of these yeast babies in there as I can get. Take our cover for a fermenter, hit it with some star sand, hit the edge of our fermenter, screw this down, and I'm going to take my roller out, and I'm just going to dump some star sand in it. You can use water or just about any kind of liquid to make sure you have an airlock. That's just, I prefer star sand in case any of it gets into the must. Take that there. And there we go. The start of sweet potato wine. In about a week I'll check it. You're supposed to let it ferment till it clears. So I'll check it in a week and we'll see how it's doing. Till next time, peace. Good brewing. Love.